Good day, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh. I'm the Director of Support for BNI Connect, and today's webinar is about the new functionality that is coming out in BNI Connect towards the end of the month. We're anticipating on or around October 29th. Most specifically, we are going to be introducing a functionality to be able to pass your referral slips online, as well as all the other slips that we enter in a BNI meeting, as well as a new improved landing page or home screen within BNI Connect. This webinar is being recorded, so it will be made available after this presentation for you to watch. It will be on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, and we will also email all of the registrants and participants, letting you know and giving you a link to that. Now, one thing that I would like to say up front to keep in mind, I do notice that we have some international callers on this call as well, is that this functionality will be rolled out in the United States. Other countries may or may not implement this particular functionality right away. So as you see these screenshots and see them, if you don't see them after this next update, please talk to your director consultant of your chapter or your executive director, and they can let you know what their time frame is for this functionality. Everybody will get the landing page. It's the online referral passing that may or may not be available right away. So if you have any questions during this webinar, either about the topics that we're discussing or anything about BNI Connect, I am always happy to answer those questions and try to share the knowledge and let you guys learn and discover things. We also do have a couple of people on this call that I would just like to mention. We have one person, Riaz Mahendi. He is part of the support team here. He is also a national admin in Malaysia, so he's joining us today. He's working very closely right now with us in the testing and rollout of this particular release, and I do think I also see Steve Elliott on the call. He is part of our UAT team, which means that he is part of the beta testing team that goes through and makes sure the functionality is working as desired and spends tons and tons of time testing this functionality. So let's get started. Again, if you have questions, feel free to use the questions panel, and we will answer those questions as they come along. So this is our testing system, by the way, which is trackbniconnect.com. I'm going to be logging into that and showing you what you will see the first time you log in after October 29th. So what you'll see right away, if you are a member in BNI Connect and the new modules turned on, you'll see this great new landing page. And there's a couple of things that jump out right away when you look at this page. The first of which is right up here. We have this thing, currently it's being called Member Module. That name may change before the end of the month, but the more important thing is right here. And what we're seeing is a snapshot of all of your activity in BNI over the last 12 months, as well as your lifetime in BNI. So we can see all of our thank you for closed business received, the money that we've generated for our own business in BNI, the amount of referrals that we've received in BNI, how much money you've been thanked for, or the thank you for closed business given, the number of referrals that you've given, the number of visitors that you've brought, the number of one-to-ones that you've done, as well as the number of CEUs that you've taken. Up along the top, you'll see the traditional menus that, as we've always had, the home button, the network, operations, reports, tools, and admin. But you can see right here we can update our status right away. So very similar to a Facebook status or a LinkedIn status. You'll be able to update your status right from this page with a nice big save button. We've also put some shortcuts in here that bring you right to your most common functions that you may do to update your profile, such as changing your password and updating your profile, your BNI page, changing your photo and logo, as well as updating your privacy settings. All of these are still always accessible by clicking on the My Account button up in the upper right-hand corner, but these give you a shortcut that take you directly to those pages. Along the left-hand side, we'll see the Member Module, which is, again, what we're calling it right now. That brings you to this page. But then you also see some other things. The My Network page, this is the traditional home screen that you may have seen before when you're logging into BNI Connect now. But then below that, you'll also see some other shortcut menus. And this is the pretty cool part because you can customize these menus. And what these are is they take all of the operations and reports and tools and admin functions that you have access to and compile them all down into one list that you can customize based on what you do most often in BNI Connect. So what we can see here is all of the functions that are available at a chapter level. And we can see the scroll list here. And these accomplish the same things. For example, adding a visitor. That brings us right to the adding a visitor page. So that saves a lot of clicks if you're a frequent user of BNI Connect, if you're a visitor host, or if you're on the leadership team and you're adding visitors in the system, rather than having to go to Operations, Chapter, and then go to Manage Visitor and add a visitor. You can now do that with just 1 or 2 clicks. So if I go back to the home screen, and I'm on my chapter functions, I can just click Add a Visitor, and it takes us right there. And as I said, these menus are completely customizable. So by clicking on the Configure button, what we can see is all of the functions that are currently in my list. Now, if I click Restore Defaults, because I've already customized that list a bit, so these are what most people use most commonly. And over on the right-hand side, are all of the other available lists. To take something out of this list and put it in this list, we're just going to click the X button, and we can see that it takes it out and brings it over on the right side. Now to take something out of this list and put it into our common functions, we just click in the box. So if I'm a vice president and I'm finding that I enter POMs as one of the most frequent things I do, I can put that into my quick access list, and then I can drag it up to the top of the list. Let me get up to the top of the list here. And now it's up at the top of my list. Now when I save this and I go back, when the screen refreshes here, we'll see now Enter POMs is at the top of my list. So it may be one of the most common things I do. So it makes it a lot easier than having to hunt through menus to find what you're doing. You can get everything within your fingertips. If you're a regional director, a director consultant, or an executive director, or if you're a national director, you'll see that you have other options that are available to directors and national directors as well, all with customized menus for you and your functions. Now, the most exciting thing that we're going to be able to see that's happening is really with the ability for us to now pass slips. So all those slips that you pass in at the meeting, we now have the ability to pass those online as well. So this is 2 great things. You don't have to remember till the day of your meeting to fill out a little paper slip anymore. But also, if we have any vice presidents out there, all of this data will be automatically entered into the POMs report for you. Anything that's entered online that you pass as a slip online automatically gets entered into the POMs report. So let me show you how this works. If I was to, let's say, pass a thank you for closed business slip. Right here on the left-hand side, I can see Enter Thank you for closed business. When I click that button, it will bring up the same slip that we pass in our meeting. So I can select who I want to thank, and this will pull up all of the members of our chapter. So if I wanted to thank, let's say, Mike Moffitt in my chapter for a referral in the amount of $2,500, and this was a new referral, and it was an outside referral, and I can put some comments in. This now entered that slip for me online. So when I go to the meeting next week, I announce it. I announce that I had the thank you for closed business, but I don't have to fill out the paperwork again. And my vice president will thank me because it has already been entered into the POMs report for them. And the same thing with referrals. So if I have a referral for somebody, I can select a member from my chapter, choose who I'm going to be sending the referral to, who the referral is, whether it's an inside or an outside referral, whether I've given them the card or told them they would call, the address for the referral, the telephone number, which is a required field, the email address, and any comments that we would fill out about the referral. I can rate the referral, whether it's a tepid referral up to a hot referral, and then I can submit it. Now, the great thing about entering the referrals online is that your referral recipient will receive an email right away letting them know about that referral. And I had some of my team a few minutes ago enter a referral for me. So let me show you what that looks like. I just need to switch screens here for you. And we can see that I received a notification from the system letting me know that today Angela Moon sent me a referral. Gives me all the details of the referral and to let me know to contact Angela if I need any additional information. And the same thing is true with the one-to-ones. Now, the cool thing about the one-to-ones is when I do a one-to-one with somebody, only one person needs to enter that one-to-one. So it'll be marked for both of us as having attended that one-to-one, and we'll both automatically get credit for it on our POMS report. So we could say who initiated, what the location was, topics of conversation, and the date that we met. Now, if the other person has already put in the one-to-one, the system will let you know that it's already been entered. So, for example, I'd put in a one-to-one earlier, meeting with Angela Moon. On October 1st. And when I go to save it, it lets us know, hey, Angela's already put in this one-to-one for us. There's no need to enter it again. Now, if you did meet twice, it will allow us to put in a second one. But right now, we don't need to. So we can just close out of that. So when you sit down to your one-to-ones, make sure you talk to the person about who's going to enter in the one-to-one slip. The CEU slips will also automatically calculate for us the number of CEUs that we've taken. So we can see that a member success program is worth 2 credits, and it automatically fills out the 2 credits for us. Books are worth 5 credits, so if I read one book, it would give me the 5 credits for that. So now one question would be, now, what do I do at the meeting if I don't have to fill out all these forms? Well, we have a great little personal meeting activity report that you can then print out to bring to your meeting. So here I can look at my personal activity for the last week by default, and we have 2 options here. I can print those out as slips that I can pass in at the meeting, or I can just print it out as a table for my own reference. And if I click Go, we can see that the slips print out in the approximate shape and size of the referral slips, so you can actually cut these out and hand them in at the meeting to let your vice president know that it's already been entered into the system, but you can still be eligible for the door prize entry. At the bottom of the form, you can see the things that you can announce at the meeting. So we'd be announcing our thank you for closed business and all the different amounts. We can announce our one-to-ones. We can announce our CEUs. And visitors, you would announce and pass a slip for in at the meeting. And again, the table view is really for your own reference. If you'd like to export this to a spreadsheet, if you're keeping track of it outside the system, or if you'd just like a quick view. Now, I see a couple of questions popping up already, and David asks, can I send a referral to a person in another chapter? And I'm going to preempt this one by saying that this is a choice in regions, whether or not they are tracking activity in another chapter. So you will definitely need to talk to your director, consultant, or executive director before that. But if your region is one that is tracking referrals across chapters, the system does allow for the ability to do that. And the way we would do that is we can click this Search Cross-Chapter button. And again, if your region isn't doing this, this button will not appear. Type in the person's first name, the person's last name, or at least 2 characters of one of these fields, and we click Search. Now this came up with a match. I can see Joe and his company name. If this is the right person, I'm just going to put a little check mark here. It asks me if I'm sure, and it allows me to select this person for this slip. And then I just continue to fill out the slip the way I normally would. So I would thank him for a referral and the amount, whether it was new or repeat business, whether it was an inside and outside or tier 3. And again, just as a review, inside means that it was a self-referral. So a tier 1 referral is a self-referral. So in this case, Joe would have referred himself to me for business. An outside referral is a tier 2 referral, or Joe would have referred me to anybody else that he knows. And a tier 3 would mean that somebody that Joe referred me to in the past referred me to somebody else. Now, with a cross-chapter referral or thank you for closed business, when I save this, it will actually populate his POMS report. Now let's show you the POMS reports real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my chapter functions, and I'm going to pretend I'm a vice president and look at the POMS entry. And for the next upcoming meeting, and now as a vice president, when I go to enter these POMS reports, we can see that all of the activity that was passed as online referrals has already been entered into the POMS report. So Vice Presidents, this is a great feature for you because the more people are entering the slips online, the less that you'll have to go through the slips from the meeting and enter those into BNI Connect. So David, I hope that answered your question. Mr. Tucker asks, back to the one-to-one, if I initiate the one-to-one meeting, I spend 45 to 60 minutes at their place of business meeting their staff, learning about their products or services. Why would that person also get credit for a one-to-one if they have not yet learned about my business? Well, the process of networking does include learning about each other's business, both to be able to receive and to give referrals. For more information about that, I would very much encourage you to talk to your director consultant for your chapter and or your executive director who can give you some more insight into exactly how they track and account for one-to-ones in your particular region. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. or Ms. Tucker. I just see N.E. Tucker. So what other questions do we have? I know we do have Riaz on the line. Riaz, is there anything else that you'd like to add regarding this functionality?
Yeah, sure. I think we can also come back to the entering the the referral slip, and on the thermometer, it is now clearly indicated at the level of referral, and this is very consistent with the Member Success Program manual. So everything is very, very consistent. So I think it'll be kind of worthwhile to show that as you click 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 on that. So there would be a pop-up screen, isn't it? Yep. So this is very consistent, the explanation as per the Member Success Program manual, as a good refresher.
Excellent. Thank you, Riaz. So we do have another question here. When someone else gives me a thank you for closed business, do I get notification? And how does it show up? And the only notifications at this time are when you receive a referral. The thank you for closed business, when somebody gives you a thank you for closed business, it will automatically show up in the POMS report, so that when your vice president submits that POMS report, you will see this activity increase here. So you'll see your thank you for closed business number rise, similar to the POMS report. So the POMS report will show that activity as well. Now, it's also tracking the thank you for closed business received. So what that means is that when you enter thank you for closed business, saying that I've received business and I'd like to thank somebody else for it, it will actually mark it in your thank you for closed business received column. And that's the only way that you can track that information, is by making sure that you thank other people for thank you for closed business. Now, I did manage to skip over a couple of other buttons down here, and that is the personal reports. So we showed the personal meeting activity report, but there's also the My Reports for the various online slips that you've entered. So for example, if I click on the My Thank You for Closed Business button, and I choose a date range, now this one by default is going to give me the last 6 months. This will show us all of our online slip activity for that time frame. So I can see all of the business that I've turned in online slips for thank you for closed business. Similarly, the My Referrals. Now this is showing the last month, but again, you can choose any date range you'd like. It'll show me all of the referrals that I've passed and all of the details about those referrals. So this is a vast improvement over what we're doing now when we pass in the referral slips. I don't know how many, excuse me, I've been a member for 10 years. I don't know how many of those little yellow part of the slips I've lost over the years. But this is a great way for me to be able to go back and follow up with the people that I've given referrals to follow up with the referrals themselves, because that's all about my credibility as well. So this is a great way to stay on top of the referrals that you've passed by being able to look back and in one place get all of the referrals and their information. Similarly, one-to-ones, if you have a tough time recalling all of those people that you did one-to-ones with, you can now go back and figure out who you've done many one-to-ones with and who you still need to do a one-to-one with. And again, CEUs, you can take a look at the CEU slips that you've passed in and see all of the information that you've entered for that as well. So BJ, I hope that answers your question there. And Tracy says, I can't find these navigation tabs. That's because these navigation tabs aren't there yet. This is a pre-release webinar, so because these are such fundamental changes in BNI Connect, we wanted to make sure that we showed everybody how to use this ahead of time so that we could make sure that you hit the ground running as soon as they come out. So hopefully that answers your question there, Tracy. BJ asks, can leadership teams access details from my member module? Only members can access their own information. So from a privacy perspective, nobody else can access your information that you input online. So the POMS report gets updated with numbers, but they can't access the actual information from that. So hopefully that answers your question there, BJ. So your reports are only accessible to you. And let's see. Frank asks, will this work from the iPhone or iPad? We currently are, BNI Connect is only designed to work with full computers right now. That means full versions of Windows, full versions of Mac, with full browsers, meaning Internet Explorer, Safari, Firefox, and Google Chrome. If it may work on the iPad, it may work on the iPhone, but at this time, we're not specifically developing for those platforms. That's a whole different ballgame for that, but we are hoping to do that at some point in the very near future. So I hope that answers your question there, Frank. Steve says, this is really great. Congratulations on this. Now we have to get the members to this webinar. Steve, this webinar will be made available on YouTube. I would love it if you could forward that link off to all of your members. I think once they see this, it will give them a real reason to log into BNI Connect, besides all the other great stuff such as the groups and being able to find anybody in the BNI world online through this system and really increase your network. I think this will give them another great reason to log into BNI Connect. So Steve, if there's anything I can do to help get the word out there for you and your chapter members, please let me know. Let's see, Linda says, will vice presidents be able to generate attendance letters from BNI Connect? And right now, that is not possible. So the attendance letters may be available or may be made available for you by your regional office in the documents section. So if you don't know where that is, if we go to the, let's go to my network, you'll see this documents section, and this is the same as the current home page right now, and they may have copies of those letters. That's a regional specific thing there for you to be able to generate the letters. Automatic generation of the letters, that is not something that is done yet, nor are electronic copies such as emails. But that's a policy right now. Let's see. David says, will the My Reports show old data? And the answer to that is yes. You can go back on those reports historically as far back as you'd like to go. So currently you can see that the CEU slips, for example, or the thank you for closed business, that default date range is 6 months. But yes, you can choose that date range for anything that you'd like. Teresa says, is there a way to remove a referral if it isn't a referral, it's a lead? Right now, there is not a way. Similar to tear up the referral slip. The vice president could always go back and edit the POMS report like they could do right now to take that referral off of getting credit for that referral. But there's no way to delete the slip itself right now. Tracy asks a second part on testimonials. I'm not sure what you mean by that question. Can you elaborate on that? And I'd be happy to answer. And Tracy says, can you give a little info about navigating the current tabs? Sure, I can log into the current system if you'd like and show you that. Let me get through the rest of these questions, and maybe we can do that towards the second half of the call. Michael says, given the anticipated success of these updates, will a smartphone app be developed? And Michael, it is in discussion right now, so we are hoping that a smartphone app will be developed at some point in the near future. I do not have any kind of time frame on that. I am just part of the support team, so that's in the hands of the business analysts, the executive board, the projects board for this. They are in discussions, and hopefully we will see an app sometime in the near future. Tracy says, I find the current site very hard to navigate. And again, Tracy, we've been listening to everybody for the past 18 months since we rolled out BNI Connect, and this is a concentrated effort to make the site much more user-friendly from a navigation perspective. So we hope you like it. I apologize that you have to wait another 26 days for it, but we do have to make sure that this goes through the proper beta testing and we get all the little kinks and behind-the-scenes bugs worked out. So Teresa says, if you have time to answer this question, can a vice president go back to a previous POMS report and open it to change "Thank you for closed business entered into the wrong person"? Yes, you can. Depending on the level of permission in your region, it may have to be done by your regional office to unlock that POMS report, but POMS reports are editable. It may be by the vice president, but it may also be by the regional office. So just to, if you need some more information on that, be happy to point you in the right direction of your regional office or give you the steps to do so if you do have permission to. You can always send a question to support@bniconnect.com, and if it's something technical, we'd be happy to answer that question. If it's something that requires regional office assistance, we will point you in the right direction to get you the answers that you need. So Teresa, I hope that helps. Let's see. The next question is, will the vice president be able to see one-to-ones for the chapter? Right now, I track them in an Excel spreadsheet. Again, you won't be able to see the direct information from them, but you will be able to see them via the POMS report. So a one-to-one tracking, kind of like the matrix of one-to-ones, that is something that's being discussed as a future enhancement, but right now it is not in the queue for programming quite yet. So hopefully that helps there, Linda. All right, Tracy has another question. She says, when I go to testimonials, I see I have 0, but can't figure out how to receive or give. So does anybody else have any questions on the current functionality or on the new functionality? And then I would be happy to go and show you guys some of the things within the current functionality that you have questions on. So again, we're very excited about these upcoming features. So I hope you can pass that along. Please get your members, your directors, executive directors onto these calls. We will be holding 5 of these webinars over the course of the next month to educate as many people as we possibly can about these upcoming changes. Place that you can find this information, by the way, is if you go to support.bniconnect.com. You will see our current list of all of the webinars for the upcoming month. They're all listed here. So you can see these are the 5 webinars that we have scheduled regarding this functionality, as well as tons of webinars about everything else about the existing functionality in BNI Connect, building your VCP, social media aspects, things like that. And we also have a ton of help documentation as well. So for example, Tracy, when you asked, or I forget who it was that asked a few minutes ago about the unlocking the POMS report, we actually do have a walkthrough here. You can see chapter operations unlocking a POMS report, and this shows you the steps necessary to go in and unlock the POMS report. So check out the support site, and again, if that unlock button isn't there, and this is explained in the documentation as well, that means that your regional office does have to unlock that POMS report for you. And again, before we get into the current functionality, I do want to ask you guys another favor, is if you could go to facebook.com/BNI Connect Global and give us a like up there. We do webinar announcements and tips and tricks and upgrade announcements and all sorts of stuff up there as well. So facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. And again, this will be posted on youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, which is our YouTube site. And we'll have this webinar posted up here as well. So excellent. Do we have any other questions on the new functionality? Otherwise, I'm going to jump in and help with the question regarding testimonials. Excellent. Let me jump over to the current system, which is bniconnect.com, and show you guys about testimonials real quick. Now, the way to give and receive testimonials, there's a couple of ways you can do that. Right on the home screen here, you can see that we have testimonials. and we can see a manage button. You can also get into all of these social media parts of the system by clicking on network, and we can see our different things here: groups, connections, testimonials, and a picture gallery. So if I go into network testimonials, this is where I'd manage my testimonials. So I can see all the people that have given me testimonials in the past, and I can click on them and read them. And here I can also see testimonials that I've given to other people and who I've given them to. And I can also see when I've requested somebody else to give me a testimonial. Now, if you're looking to give a testimonial to somebody, the place to do that is through your connections. So if you go to Network Connections, this is our list of connections. So these are all the people that I'm connected to. I'm connected to 175 people right now. Now, if I wanted to give one of these people a recommendation or a testimonial, I could click on them. And we'll see a couple of options when I'm looking at this contact. One of those is give Vicky a testimonial, or give the person's name a testimonial. So I would click on here, I would write my testimonial, and then I would send it to Vicky. Once I've sent it to Vicky, Vicky will get a notification saying, hey, you've received a testimonial from Jeremy. Do you want to accept it? Do you want to reject it? And then it will display on her profile. So Tracy, does that answer your question? And again, you'll be accessing it the same way even with the new menus. You would be able to click on Network Connections. Or again, you'd click on My Network, and you can click on Connections or on Recommendations. So in order to ask for a testimonial, you would still go to your connections, find the person that you'd like to get a testimonial from, and you can either ask them for a testimonial or you can give a testimonial. But in both cases, they're done by going to Network Connections and click on the person in the list that you'd like to give your testimonial to. So Tracy says, I think it would be nice if you added the ability to get there from testimonials. I will most definitely forward that recommendation over to the business analysts and the project board. So hopefully they can incorporate that in a future release. Do we have any other questions, either about the upcoming functionality or about anything at all in the BNI Connect system? Again, I'm always happy to stay on these webinars as long as people have questions. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. So Tracy asks, any other quick tips on navigating the current site or most important things to do there? The most important thing that you can do is to update your profile. Make sure that it's filled out. Let me tell you a quick story. I was sitting here in my office a couple of months ago, and one of my clients walked into my office and said, hey, I need a referral. I said, well, how often does that happen? I'm sitting here at my desk, a client walks into my office and asks for a referral. I said, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I have a referral for you. What do you need? And he said, I have an in-house bookkeeper, but she needs to learn some things about QuickBooks. You have anybody you can recommend that can show her a few things? I said, yeah, no, that's awesome. I have somebody in my chapter that's QuickBooks certified. I can definitely give you that name. And being support for BNI Connect, I really wanted to use BNI Connect to give this referral. So I went to my regional website. I went to bniri.com, and I went to find a member. And the person in my chapter, his name is Glenn Zabolis. So I looked him up. And I found him, and here he is. And what I really, really wanted to do was to print out this piece of paper, this site, to give to my client, because it's more than a business card. It's much more information, or be able to forward this link over to him in email so that he could get more information about Glenn. The problem is, at the time, Glenn didn't even have a picture up, and he doesn't have his phone number. There's no address information. There's no social media links. All it is a picture of Glenn, his name, and a quick one sentence about his business. So that's okay, but still not enough information. Unfortunately, my little red binder, it was sitting on the front seat of my car, so I couldn't, I ended up pulling out a yellow sticky note and writing the phone number on a piece of paper for him. Now, if somebody had looked me up online, however, to try to pass me a referral, you'd get a lot more information. So yeah, it has my picture and it has my couple of words about my business, but a lot more information as well. So it has my social media links, it has my address, it has all of my phone numbers, my website address, more information about good referrals for me. So they'd get a lot more information from this. One of the most important things you can do to increase your visibility and credibility in BNI Connect is to fill out your profile. Now, the place to do that, just to show you where this information is coming from, if you click on the My Account button, this information is being pulled from here. The My Business is what's showing up here. And this is accessible for the whole world to see. So that's why I'm telling you to do this part first. The My Business information is right on the first tab under My Business. This information is pulling from your TOPS profile. So if you go to your Bio tab, at the bottom is your TOPS profile. Now, this is updated immediately. So as soon as you type it in here and you save it, it is updated on the public website as well. It's pulling the information directly. So go in and fill out those two things right away. Your My Business and your TOPS profile. Now, once you do that, the third most important thing for you to fill out would be your keywords. So now going back to this first page here, your keywords are how people find you. So it's a one-to-one search. So unlike Google, which spends billions and billions of dollars writing expensive algorithms to kind of think for you, to think what you might be looking for, this is a little bit more of a direct search. So what you put in here are the words that people are going to use to find you. So that holds true both for inside the system and outside the system. So on the public side as well as the inside of BNI Connect. So let me show you a quick example of this. For example, one of my keywords here is computer support. Now, if I go to our regional website and I do find a member and I do the search for computer support, right? Here's what I find. I find 3 people in our entire region that have used the keywords computer support. Or let's take that one step further and just do computer. Right? And now I get 10 people that have the word computer in their keywords. I know that there are more than 10 people that do computers in our region. If I do instead for profession computer, much more extensive list, about 70 people. So what that means is, to me, what that tells me is 60 people haven't gone in and filled out their keywords to include things that people would be searching for them for. So if you want to leg up on your competition, go in, fill out your keywords. That is how people are going to find you here. And it's also, this keyword search is also when you're connecting with other people in BNI Connect, you do that by clicking on the little magnifying glass. And right here, we're searching by either the person's name or their keyword. So this will, again, it's searching against that keyword field. So take a few minutes, pick some good keywords for your business, and make sure that you save them on your profile. So those are the top 2 things that you can do to increase your visibility, credibility, and profitability using BNI Connect. So hopefully that answers your question there. And let's see, Teresa says, would you go back to the support screen to open the POMS report? Now you can get there yourself. If you go to support.bniconnect.com, or if you're logged into BNI Connect, just click on the little question mark. And this will take you to the support site. Again, support.bniconnect.com. Now you can just do a search right here if you want to. So do unlock POMS. And we will see right here, the very first hit. And this will show us exactly how to go through and unlock the POMs. Again, support.bniconnect.com. We have recorded webinars up there. We have video walkthroughs of a lot of things. So hopefully that helps. Does that answer your question there, Teresa? Teresa also asks, do you have a great chapter site to show us? Teresa brings up a good point. One thing that you may not know is that every single chapter in BNI Connect has their very own chapter site. So the place to see that is by going to your regional website. And again, this is open to the world. So the world goes out and they want to find a BNI chapter. They want to visit a BNI chapter. Let's take a look. And I'm just going to randomly pick one of these in our area. We see their meeting details, and then we can go and we can view their chapter website. And this is what the chapter website looks like out of the box. So, it tells you the amount of closed business that are passed. It shows you what day of the week you meet, what your member count is, a very brief description of what BNI is, and a stock photography picture. You can also click, and we can see all the members of the chapter. And again, if we randomly click on them, Daniel has filled out a good portion of his profile, so that's good. Now, you asked for an example of a really good one. I know that the Mill River chapter in Massachusetts, and see, this does show up in Google searches, by the way. So I just Googled Mill River BNI, and this is their chapter site. And we can see their closed business. Now, they took a lot more time to reword this information. They tell us that they were a back-to-back Founders Award chapter. They went and they put their own Google Maps into replace the stock photography that was there. They have a link to searching their members. They have their Facebook page, as well as their Twitter account to follow. Since their secretary-treasurer is inputting speakers into the system, all of their upcoming speakers also get added visibility on their chapter website. So this is one example of one. They also turned their photo gallery into a chapter news site. So let me also go to bniri.com/Wakefield, which is my own personal chapter. Oh, I typed it wrong there. It would help if I typed it correctly. And one thing that I did on our chapter site was I went to and I turned it into a news feed. So I was able to take an RSS feed and put it directly into this site in order to show updated information about our region and about BNI in general. And it looks like it's that Facebook app that is causing it, but we did also put the Facebook links on our chapter webpage as well. So Teresa, is that a good example for you? Cool. Looks like I've answered all of the questions so far. Do we have any additional questions about anything in BNI Connect, anything in the current functionality, anything that's upcoming with the new functionality? Again, we're getting close to the top of the hour, but I am always happy to stay on these webinars as long as people have questions. So. Excellent. So a good referral for me is to please go back to your chapter, go to your director team, go to your fellow members, and please let them know about BNI Connect, let them know about these webinars. A good referral is to get somebody onto the next webinar. That would be a great referral for me, and I'd like to remind you, support.bniconnect.com. We have a ton of training material up there, recorded webinars, tons of information, walkthroughs, help guides, and also facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. Please give us a like, share your thoughts, share your comments, and we'd be happy to talk with you there. Connect with me in BNI Connect. Again, it's Jeremy Walsh. I look forward to talking to you all soon and on future webinars. Thank you very much, everybody, and happy connecting.